Assalamualaikum. My name is Farid bin Habibul Musidin. This is my oral presentation for EVT427 course on topic air pollution. Okay, when we talking about air pollution, what actually it is? Okay, air pollution, we can define it as the substance in the air that present at high enough concentration that can cause harm not only to us human but also to our environment. There are two types of sources for the air pollution. First, natural sources, and second, anthropogenic sources. Let's talk about the natural sources first. Okay, first, the natural sources. Or it also known as the biogenic sources. It actually the come from the natural event, and we cannot avoid this type of the emission of pollutant from this type of sources, and because it occurs naturally. For example, the volcanic eruptions, the forest fires, and also the wind erosion. The example of the emission from this type of sources are like the CO, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxide, and also particulate matter. This type of pollutant will emitted at high level of concentration from these events. The forest fires also will emit emitted smoke at high level that will sure can cause harm to our environment. Second is the anthropogenic sources. Okay, when we talk about anthropogenic, it actually refers to human activities. And this type of sources, we can divide it into two types. First, the mobile source, and the other one is stationary source. For the mobile source, the emission of the pollutant actually happens in a typical engine combustion from the cars, trucks, or aircraft. The final product from the combustion process releases the toxic gases such as carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, and also nitrogen oxide to the atmosphere. Meanwhile, for the stationary sources, it's not like the mobile source, which is that emitted the pollutant by the a moving object. The stationary sources emitted its pollutant from the building or places that stay in place, such as the manufacturing facilities and also the power generating facilities. And the emission from this type of sources is due to the burning of coal and oil that will sure emitted high concentration of toxic gases such as the sulfur dioxide. Okay, what happened in urban and industrial area? Other than transportation activities, this type of activity, which is the construction activity, also contribute a major contribute to the air pollution in that area because at the construction site it it will be the activities like digging, grinding, and land clearing, which will most likely contribute to the air pollution because it emitted high level of particulate matter to the atmosphere. Okay, we can classify the air pollutions into two. First, primary, and second is the secondary air pollutants. For the primary air pollutant, the pollutant is emitted directly from the source, for example, from the power plant or the manufacturing facilities. And the pollutants from the primary will not undergo any chemical reaction. For example, the carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, NO2, and also the sulfur dioxide. As for the secondary air pollutants, it takes place at the atmosphere, and the pollutants will undergo chemical reaction once they reach the atmosphere. And the chemical reaction is among the primary pollutants. It also we can combine with the water in the atmosphere. And the type of pollutant is ozone, SO3, HNO3, and also the sulfuric acid. And for the unit of air pollutants, we can either use the ppm or also we can use the microgram per meter cube. These are forms of the air pollution. First, the gaseous form, for example, the sulfur dioxide, ozone, and also the hydrocarbon. The gaseous form, it is colorless and odorless. We cannot see it. And second is particulate form, and we can classify it into the PM 2.5, which is the PM 2.5 and below, and we can refer it as the fine and ultra fine particulate matter. And second is PM10 and above, and we can refer it as the coarse particles or ultra coarse, super coarse particles. For example, the smoke, dust, and ash. Mostly this type of air pollutant is come from our activity, human activities. Okay. The other type is hazardous air pollutant, such as the asbestos, formaldehyde, or chloroform. This air pollutant is from the thing that we use. For example, the formaldehyde is from the things that the new things, such as the our home material thing or shoes that we always refer it as the fresh smell. It actually is the formaldehyde, and it is irritating actually for our eyes and lungs. Okay, right now the effects of air pollution. First, to the human, it can cause breathing difficulty because by the inhalation of the sulfur dioxide. Because once sulfur dioxide comes in contact with the moist membrane in our body, it will turn into sulfuric acid, and then the nitrogen dioxide, which will cause chest cold and coughing. Lastly, the carbon monoxide can cause dizziness, headache, and fatigue because it will reduce the blood ability to deliver oxygen to our vital tissues. Okay, next, the materials and structures. The sulfuric acid can cause the corrosion to metals. Then the particulate matter can cause soiling and staining to the building. After that, the atmosphere. The ozone depletion will occur because the CFC that released to the atmosphere will expose to the UV radiation from the sunlight, and then it will break off the CFC molecule bonding, and then the Cl chlorine element will react with the ozone at the stratosphere, and it can rip apart the ozone molecule. So that the photochemical smoke. The photochemical smoke is when the nitrogen oxide and hydrocarbon that released from the automobile will react with the UV light, and the photochemical smoke only occur during the day, and it does not occur when night, because at night there are no UV radiation, right? And then it will also cause haze. Okay, next, the prevention. First, by law. There are many laws to prevent the air pollution. I just list three of it, and this law will limit the emission of the pollution or pollutant from the industries or automobile. And then the government. From the government, they can strengthen the law by fine the responsible person who caused the pollution. And then they also can advertise the air pollution issues to people to make them concerned and aware of how big the problem is. Then, as for the individual, we can use alternate transportation, maybe once a week or twice a week, like using a bike or just walking, or do the couple with your colleagues, and then keep the car well tuned to make sure the combustion in the engine is perfect, and then avoid open burning. The conclusion, we can make the conclusion is the air pollution can bring harm to human and also the environment. Take the prevention step is crucial to protect our environment. So by understanding the characteristic and impacts of the air pollution, can make us more concerned about our planet health, and let us all together fight against the pollution to take step toward a better tomorrow. That's all from me. Thank you.